Welcome once again to The Reading Room, the companion YouTube show to the podcast, The Comic Shop.
Comic Shop.
That's right. Today is the 2nd of October.
The first.
You're right. And I'm laughing. So I'm laughing because this is funny. Because
10 seconds ago.
10 seconds ago I was like, looked him square in the eye and said, what's the date? Is it the 2nd? He says, no, it's the 1st. Apparently that didn't quite sink in. So this is Scott America. We're going to talk about some comic books. Here we go. All right, I'm going to go first. Okay, so I got a couple. We've been doing a lot of new stuff lately, and I kind of wanted to keep on that vibe. Pardon me. So what I got is a couple, because I know you're fond of what ifs.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
both fond of like what ifs, Elseworlds,
I love that stuff.
alternate storylines. So what we got is I've got a couple of books here that kind of go along with those lines. I kind of go along those lines of what if and Elseworlds. I'm going to start with this first one because this first one is something that I looked at. I knew this was going on. Wasn't sure if I was going to buy into any of it, but I decided, you know what? I see it on the rack at my local brick and mortar. I said, I'm going to check this one out. And it's Marvel's got a thing going on right now called Generations. And to the best of my knowledge, please correct me if I'm wrong, these are all one-shots. And what they do is they bring together different versions of a lot of their legacy characters in kind of a one-shot. A lot of it's like alternate dimension, time travel storylines to reconcile bringing those two characters together in one particular time in one particular place. Where normally
This could actually be regular continuity because they have or they are bringing Logan back.
Right, but in this particular one, this is going back in like Wolverine with Akiko, Japan,
Madripoor?
Madripoor.
Oh.
The before he even knows, before Laura. Generations Wolverine. All new Wolverine, which is X-23, Laura Kinney, and Wolverine, which is Logan. And this is going back before X-23, Laura was even a thing.
Right.
Right. So these are one shots. There's one. I think there's one with Peter Parker and Miles Morales. There's one with Bruce Banner and Amadeus Cho. I was talking to Scott beforehand. There's one with Tony Stark and Riri Williams that takes place in the future, where Tony Stark is actually the Sorcerer Supreme.
That is going to be neat.
Right. It's out. You can find it. There's one with Kate Bishop and Clint Barton, the Hawkeyes. There are other ones too. There's ones with two different versions of Jean Grey.
I wonder if it's the younger version brought forward in time.
Don't know the details on
Oh.
it. Don't know, but there's a bunch of them out there. And I said, you know what? I knew a little bit. I read a review of the one with Tony and Riri, and I saw this on the shelf, and I was like, you know what? After having watched Logan earlier in the year, I'm like, you know what? I'm keen to some daddy-daughter vibe.
Yeah.
I have two daughters. Scott has a daughter. I'm keen to some daddy-daughter vibe. And this is actually pretty cool. This is Tom Taylor doing the writing. Ramon Rosanas is the artist, and Nolan Woodward is doing the colors. And it's really cool. It's a fight book.
She's wearing the Dark Avenger Wolverine costume.
Well, they both kind of go incognito at one point. Like, she is kind of wearing the dark. That is the Dark Avenger costume, isn't it? Yeah. And when we first see her, and Logan's wearing his classic blue and yellow. And the story, it's a fight story. It's a little bit of a detective story. It's a little bit of Sabretooth makes an appearance. His actual daughter in this continuity is kidnapped. Laura stabs Sabretooth through everything about him out of a plane door. It's lovely. That's the.
Damn.
It's Laura with the Foot Claw through his throat, and Wolverine is she's very much like me, and then the Foot Claw comes out, and his inner monologue is overlaid as, okay, that's different. So he doesn't have any idea about it, right? And it's about, I don't know, this whole thing is like, okay, yep, just suck some tears out of my eyes, please do it, please do it. I paid my $3. Go ahead.
Woo!
Yeah, sibling rivalry is a this is an all new Wolverine number
What the hell is his
25.
name?
That's Dakin.
Dakin, yes.
Yeah. So Marvel Boy.
He's new, though.
He's not that new.
Newish.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring this one up because this other one was also an Elseworlds book. This was going to be my focus. I said, you know what, I got that Generations issue kicking around in the house. I thought I'd bring that up and talk about it. This is actually, it's very cool. If you like Wolverine as character, in the wake of Len Wein's passing. There you go with
Well,
Generations. The other one that I got, this is a story behind this one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a Dark Knight's lead-in. The Dark Knight's the metal tie-in. Now, this particular book, Batman the Red Death, there's a bit of a story about why I even own it. Joshua Williamson is doing the writing. I'm going to mess this name up so bad. Carmine Diagidomenico.
Wow.
Sure, why not?
Holy guinea.
Ivan Plex. I apologize for my friend. Doing the colors. Now, okay.
That looks awesome.
Dark Knight's Metal. Now, Dark Knight's Metal has got this thing going on with Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, very famous for opening up Batman in the New 52 with the
Yeah, I thought
Court
this was a
storyline.
series. Is it Elseworlds?
This is very much it's a multiverse story.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a dark multiverse story, and the concept is.
But it takes place outside normal continuity.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it takes place multiverse, so a regular.
I don't know.
Please clue us in.
They do crazy stuff.
Clue us in. This is some of the crazier stuff that they've been doing. This is. Eventually, you're going to have versions of Batman where he's fused with other members of the Justice League.
This is Flash, obviously.
This one is Flash. There are ones where it's Aquaman. There are but I think it's like Batgirl and Aquaman. Right? There's one with Cyborg called, I can't remember what that one's called. I think Death Machine or something like that.
Neat.
There's the Devastator, Batman Devastator. That's him and Doomsday.
Fused together?
Yes.
The one dude?
Right. Wonder Woman, where he ends up looking like Ares, the DC version of Ares, kind of way. Green Lantern, all of that stuff. I don't think they've done one with Superman, but I'm not entirely
I
sure.
don't know how they would.
I don't know how they would either. But so Batman: The Red Death is dark. It's this stuff is there's a lot of death.
Well, he's called the Red Death, apparently.
He just kills. Not to spoil it, but spoilers. He kills the Scarecrow, the Riddler. He kills Penguin. He kills Man-Bat.
So he doesn't have the Batman doesn't kill proclivity.
No, it starts on one alternate universe planet where Gotham is. See, this is
That looks so bad.
what's that?
That looks so good. Bad. You know.
That's Batman with tech
Yeah.
from all of Flash's Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, he's got Captain Cold's gun.
Cat and Cold's Gone and Mask.
It looks
That's
like a
Heatwave.
lightsaber.
It looks like I'm not sure what that is yet, but I think it has something to do with Mirror Master. No, that's Mirror Master's projection gun right there.
It could be Wonder Wizard's scepter.
That could be weather with. Yeah, probably there. That's good. Good pull. Good pull.
Oh, yeah, because there's lightsaber.
Yep, because there's. Yep. See now that's Higgy. I didn't pick that up. You picked that up. Very nice. But this starts on a different version of Earth. It moves to a different version of Earth, and basically everything that happens here happens on different versions of Earth. And this is the lead-in to what we're going to see. They've already had issue 1 of Dark Knights. Issue 2 of Dark Knights is going to introduce all of the characters,
Man,
all
you
the
should
Batman
collect that.
together at once. What's that?
You should collect that so I can read it.
I'm pretty sure it's got it. Yeah, so I had to Brother Ed. The reason I have this book, in fact, is because Brother Ed just decided to grab it off the shelf and say, here, stick this in my brother's pool box.
Oh.
And so when I went, I was like, okay, well, it's got this recommendation.
Yeah, that's
And I looked at it and I was like, I know what this is. I haven't got into this yet. I will, in fact, get into this now. And you know what?
Another thank you.
Yes,
Brother
another thank you to Brother Ed. You're going to have to invest some time, just like you do any giant crossover event.
Especially if you're
This
not
isn't like
familiar
a
with the
giant
universe.
crossover event, but this has got a lot of lead-ins. You're gonna want to invest some time in the story if you really want.
Yeah, any book that says tie-in on the cover,
Yeah,
it's going to tie into
exactly.
something you're going to need to find.
And it's
after.
pretty. It's all glossy
It
and
is.
reflective.
That's what I like
It's got a
about it.
nice Wonder Woman advert for the digital and the Blu-ray on the back and stuff
Already
like that.
bought it.
So, so I just got a couple of these things that kind of encompass what's going on nowadays in the hey, what's happening outside of continuity,
Yeah.
outside of canon. And
I love that
like
stuff.
So this is a very, very, very good Wolverine and X-23 story. This is a very, very, very good Batman's just messed right up in this one story. And Flash is still kind of the moral focal point and trying very much to hold things together. But the thing about it is in the end, it like after everything happens, it's like the all of the word balloons for Batman.
Yeah.
are all doubled up because Flash is inside there. He's a personality inside there.
Oh, so they totally
He
did
had-
amalgam.
They did kind of like amalgam, but he's talking. His voice is inside Bruce's consciousness now.
Oh, look at Dr. Fate stuff. What's going
That
on?
Dr. Fate makes an appearance. In fact, yes, he does. And the thing about this is it's
It's really good art.
it is ridiculous. The Batman the Speedster doesn't have lightning bolts following him. He has this trail of glowing bats.
Black bats outlined in red, glowing.
Yes.
Of course, it's Batman.
Your drift, those bats. That's and he sucks the speed force from everything that he comes into contact with. This is Earth Zero, where he goes back and sees Barry, kills Wally and Iris.
Wow.
Yeah. So spoiler. So there you go for me. A little bit of something from the two big houses, Generations, Wolverine, and Batman: The Red Death, leading up to Dark Knight's Metal, the Snyder and Capullo event that is in fact coming up. What do you have this week, Scott?
More Jeffrey Cobb? Well, that was interesting.
So anyway, let me tell you a story. Something happened, wrote a song about it, here you go. So there was a technical glitch, so we had to stop anyway.
It was perfectly timed, because they usually got done.
Yeah, so it was a nice little
moving
segment.
line.
So we're 1 minute into recording the second segment, and in pops my good lady wife, and we had cows.
Cows.
We had I don't own any cows.
And bulls.
And yeah, the long story short is we have a neighbor who has a family way across the other side of the backfield. My wife was mowing the lawn today. Apparently, cows really like the smell of fresh cut grass because man, they walked a piece to get over here and enjoy the buffet. And not like in the back 40, like
We walk out of the garage door and it's right
next
there.
to the house, and I'm like, just gonna start drinking out of the swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a thing right there. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Adventures in the Reading Room.
Yes.
So you're talking about Kaufman.
Yes.
We're talking about Kaufman.
Let's talk about Mr. Kaufman again.
Okay.
And this book, Killing Mars.
Right. Another one of the signed ones he got at DragonCon.
Yes, and I'm kicking myself for not getting another $20 worth and getting the two books that precede this.
Mr. Kaufman,
were Horror
you made a fan.
and Terminal Alice.
And that's when I was just... This is when the cow thing happened, and I was going to say horror was the one where you had the sign on the table.
Yeah, before you give me the side eye or something.
Horror is about a guy.
Well, it's kind of like the guy, Mars, who was, the title book was Horror. But he's pretty much an excommunicated CIA operative who does anything for money, which is why they call him Horror. And these 5 women are all contract killers. And they all live together, protect each other, and carry out contracts. And they're the stars of Terminal Alice. And one of them's a nun. Yeah.
Because why not?
Because she's the nun. Yeah. And one of them's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, this here was...
Now, I'm offended that the crazy one has to be the ginger. I mean,
well, she's got a couple personalities brewing in there.
yeah.
But, yeah, the artwork is really good. It's just like in Bayou Bound, the art.
It does look a lot
It's
like Bayou Bound.
similar to, I don't know if it's the exact same artist.
I can't remember the artist from Bayou Bound. But...
Names don't seem familiar, but yeah, this is...
Oh, this is Big City Comics. This is all indie house.
This and the next book that I plan to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But, Mr. Mars has found out through his contacts and handlers and whatnot that he's got a contract out on his head for $5 million. And that's pretty attractive for any contract killer. So, being that he spent time with the people, the women of Terminal Alice, one of them calls him up and is like, "Hey, I got some news for you. There's a contract out." He's like, "Really? How big?" $5 mil. He's like, "Oh." She's like, "We also have a business proposition." So he moves in to the Terminal Alice household, has to pay them $250,000 a month to protect him and not get the contract themselves. And he's still got to work to make this money.
See, now that's good. That's it's almost like diversifying your investments. It's playing the long game.
Yeah.
Because $250,000 a month I mean, eventually you're going to add up to that $5 million. It's going to pay off.
Well,
But,
he still has to work.
It's like Lotto. If you take
While
the lump
he's
sum, you get
there,
taxed. To the,
Well,
to
he's
the
there
nose.
under their roof,
Yeah.
and they still have to protect him. So every time he has to go out and do a contract, one or more of them has to go with him.
Okay.
Which makes for a really interesting story.
Okay, so you get good like character dynamics.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And yeah, beautiful art and lots of blood and just people get every kind of killed that you can imagine.
The art is cool.
It is. It's very good.
Yes.
I mean, not too stylized. Not at
No.
all. Not at all.
No. Not at all. Not at all.
It's very similar to Bound and just Gary Fails, which is, I think, a thing for this particular comic.
There's a lot of lines in the art, which gives you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess some people probably don't like that, but this gives you a lot more detail in the way the
But
characters
depth.
are designed.
Gives it depth
Yes,
and
yes.
character design. Yeah.
A lot of use of shadow. A lot of use of blood.
This is the crazy chick, and something about a group of Asian assassins offered him, instead of just killing him outright, offered him to go through this gauntlet. Like no guns, just edged weapons. You make it through, and okay, we're good. And this woman is a whirlwind of doom. This is a crazy one, who actually thinks because Mars.
Man, what's glorious.
Yeah. Mars took a baby from a set of contract killers on the plane that tried to kill him. So he's like, I'm going to take this kid. After he switched out the poison drink with the woman. She dies. He takes the kid that they had bought from her drug addicted sister or whatever. But and he's like, you just stay here for a few minutes. I'm going to leave with the kid and I won't kill you. What makes you think you can? You're a pansy that just tried to poison my drink. Yeah, I can kill you. Yeah, it's really, the story, the dynamics between him and all the different characters of Terminal Alice. Wow.
And the baby moves in with him to the house.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
and the crazy
so
one
it's
thinks
like,
that's mommy.
It's like 6 contract killers and the baby.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the redhead thinks that she's the mommy and he's the daddy and they're together.
Oh, okay.
And you don't want to make the crazy woman more crazy by saying no. So
So this is another one of his things where he's doing basically like the underside, like what goes on beneath.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
something like Bayou Bound where everything goes, but there's a lot of supernatural involved there.
there's no supernatural here.
No supernatural here,
this
but
is
this
just-
is all just
The world of contract killers.
This is like John Wick,
Kinda.
kind of in a weird,
Kinda.
it kind of falls into that territory, and that's a really entertaining piece of artwork. Those John Wick movies are.
Oh god, yes.
There's an eyeball falling out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like every time he steps out of their house, there's somebody waiting to kill him.
Huh.
And this chick is like killing 6 or 8 people a day that are waiting outside for him to come out. And she's getting annoyed with it. Oh yeah.
Oh,
This is a
what
great
did
part.
I just see?
This is a great part. It's like he gets contacted by his handler, and they say something about going to the New York City Comic Con. And he's like, yes. And then, well, here's this week. What are you smiling about? Comic Con Beyond.
That is messed up.
But then he gets there, and he has to be the furry.
He's in the
So he's not
Okay.
overly enthusiastic anymore.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. Why does that say San Diego?
Oh, San Diego. I'm sorry. That is San Diego.
Oh, okay.
I misspoke.
Yeah.
But
That's because New York Comic Con is going on here,
yeah.
like that, either right now or next weekend.
Something like that. But yeah, they got to pose as furries, and they're watching this other comic book company, which is basically a front for the mob, where they make these comics. They print the hell out of a bunch of run, and they sell them off, and then just destroy the rest to launder money, pretty much.
Okay.
And he's there to find out about that and other stuff. It's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. And at the end, the resolution is, I don't want to spoil it too much, in case other people find it as interesting as I do. But there's a mission that they go on at the end to get the guy who put the contract out on it. But it's a multi-step mission. So they got to go to 3 or 4 different places over the country and destroy his drug trade, like the trafficking part and all the money and all that. And then he shows up where the guy's at, walks right in, and basically assaults him. And he's got a room full of henchmen. So he basically gets himself captured, taken up to the guy's private suite, and goads him into standing up in front of this big window, and one of the Terminal L women snipes him.
All right.
But the best part about it is the contract, after the death of that guy, goes into escrow and is still active. So he's still got to be.
Goes into escrow.
That's what they said. He said he's still got to live with the girls' Terminal L, continue to pay them.
Real world detail. That's lovely. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
And then there was the sample. The sample of the
Yeah,
9/11 book, which
9/11.
is, according to him and everything I've seen, his first foray into playing with costume heroes and villains. And it happens to take place at Ground Zero, like right after. And you read the forward, right?
I did read the forward.
It was
Yes.
a really good, really solid forward. I don't want to take the time of the video to read it all.
No, I mean you should. It's poignant.
It is. Well, should I? I don't know.
It's a bit of a no. Don't read the forward.
Yeah.
Don't read it. But it's a bit of a turn from what we're talking about over here, which is like heavy, like blood, guts, action stuff like that, but also kind of more of a light storyline. But this has real world implications, and he acknowledges all of that in the forward. He takes great pains to explain what his thinking is in taking this book on. And well, I'll read one quote. I have never wanted to write a book less than this one. I mean, that gives you an idea of the headspace that Mr. Kaufman is in.
Yeah.
Kind of. And I haven't read the book. Scott has.
It's great. It starts out in Brooklyn, New York, the present. And this is him. I believe this is himself. He's writing a comic book of himself.
That's a Vonnegut thing. Vonnegut did that
Right.
for Slaughterhouse-Five.
And he's going to this
And
prison.
a couple other books.
He's going to this prison to interview this woman. Who is this woman? I don't know why she's in prison. It doesn't resolve itself in this sample. But it's just like, she's refused interviews from like a whole bunch of different people. Her name is Jennifer Fleck, former superhero, codenamed Snowflake. That's kind of ironical, but not supposed to be. She freezes
True.
stuff.
Yeah.
She freezes stuff. She said, do you have any idea how many interviews I've turned down? I would imagine a lot. The exact number is 4,212. She says, I spend most of my days waiting to die. I'm absolutely ambivalent to the world around me, but your request confused me. What was so different about my request? Because you're not even a real reporter. You're a comic book writer.
Okay. Okay.
She says, I mean, seriously, I've read your stuff. You actually named one of your graphic novels Whore, and it wasn't even about a woman? So yeah, that leads me to believe
we're
himself.
not unfamiliar with Kaufman getting kind of meta in his books.
Yeah.
Like in the panel, in I think it was Bayou Bound, where he says, "You guys have begged me in conventions
Yes.
to bring these characters back. Here they are."
Right. But, well, the dialogue continues. And here's like, why me? And why a comic book? So I need to tell it. Why? Because you aren't the only one who has a 9/11 story you wish you could forget.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it's like powerful too.
Yeah.
It just keeps going, and they keep having this little interview, and it goes back to the day of. Look at that.
Oh man.
I mean, the artwork being what it is.
Oh
And
man.
apparently her super team was stationed in one of the towers, and she was out shopping because she didn't want to deal with a briefing, because she thought it was boring. And that's what happened when she was out shopping. So she has to run the 8 or so blocks, city blocks,
Yeah.
back, because she's not a flyer. She just freezes stuff.
I don't know if I've ever seen it drawn before.
The actual event?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen it drawn before.
They
Yeah,
did in
I
Marvel Comics in a Spider-Man issue where that
Did
actually
they-
references it in the forward.
Did they do this kind of?
It was similar.
That's a panel.
Yeah.
That's a full page.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm probably gonna put this in the overlay, but I'm just gonna let you know that it's
Graphic.
it's not. Yes, actually, it kind of is graphic. It is.
These kind of images.
It's an artistic depiction of the events of that day.
Yeah.
But it's remarkably
Well done.
well done, and very, very true to life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the way that it's from the perspective of the Brooklyn side.
Got the Brooklyn
With
Bridge
one of
there.
the towers of the Brooklyn Bridge, so it's basically like it's north of the Brooklyn Bridge, so it's as if you were watching and you were like in Williamsburg or something like that in Brooklyn, or Dumbo, like by the Manhattan Bridge.
Do you let me continue?
Yes, I'm sorry. I just that page.
I
just-
know. I know. So I turned it. I was like, look at that.
Yep, I had to.
And well, she runs all the way back, like the cloud is coming.
Yep.
She's running through the cloud to the base of the building. This guy, he's called Driver. The Driver he's a superpowered villain,
Okay.
but his ex-wife, which he was trying to reconcile with, was in the
He was
tower,
in the tower.
and they volunteered. They volunteered.
This is very much in the line of the
Yeah.
the ASM issue because
Yeah.
a lot of the villains who were in New York City.
Well, they did.
I'm sorry. This is easily the most technically problematic episode
It is.
of the reading room that we have had so far, but we are
It's been
going
interesting nonetheless.
right. We are going to adapt and overcome. Straight up. So Scott's going to finish up his review of 9/11.
Right. Where was I? The last part of the interview, and Eric's brilliant depiction of the artwork he's going to show us in an overlay was they go to Ground Zero to start helping with retrieval and cleanup. And Kaufman, I'm going to call him Kaufman because that's what I think he is in this book, asks her,
It's reasonable.
"Is that where you met Driver?" We've battled many times before. It was after Mayor Giuliani suspended all arrest warrants for villains who were wanted to help with the rescue effort that I really got to know him.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, his name is Ken.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a last name. He's Driver or Ken. Through their grief, because his ex-wife was in the tower, her husband was in the tower, and they're basically looking for something to bury, which didn't happen for a whole lot of people.
True.
And that is a sad fact. But these two have a moment in this whole thing. Through their loss, through their grief, they come together for a brief moment. And they were done with the cleanup. They were asked, well, not done, but they were told to, you can go about your regular lives now because we got the rest of this. And it happens.
Yes, it happens.
A moment of weakness. And then there's another part here where I guess Driver is doing another bad thing.
Apparently.
Yeah. And he ends up chucking. Oh no! This is what brings him back.
Mm-hmm.
This cop. He said, "Hasn't this city suffered enough?" The city? Are you kidding me? I'll teach you what suffering is. And he grabs a cop, like by the throat, and picks him up. And he says, "This doesn't have to end this way. It would be easier. Did you lose someone? Someone, the only one. Me too." And this is what brings Driver back from the brink. He sets the cop down and walks away. And that's the president of the time. And that's Snowflake. Ironical enough, yes. But it's a really emotionally driven, powerful story. And this is the very first little part. And she ends up in a fight with this. I don't know who she is. I don't know if they name her. But she says, "What do you say?" Explicit. And then, well, that's not very hero-like. I was just reminiscing about your dead husband.
Oh.
Say another word. Go ahead. And she tries, and she freezes her. I'm sorry. What did you say? I can't hear you with the life leaving you and all. Which is very uncharacteristic for a hero to do.
Yeah, that's one of those people.
And then the Driver shows up. And lets the other one go. Maybe he takes her in and gets her whatever. But that's the end of this preview. And I want so much more. I'm going to have to get this book.
What caught my eye?
Which one?
This right here. And I'll put this in an overlay. People like tying bandanas and stuff around their face because of all the dust.
Oh, yeah. And
But-
having to carry the the stuff up, buckets at a time.
but look at the center of it. That's where she's inhaling and exhaling. So that's where the bandana is going to be stained by all the dust. That's where the dust is going to accumulate.
Yeah.
That's
good. That's good art. That's going to be a panel.
I'm not trying to toot a horn or anything like that, but I do have a tendency to find magic in the details.
Well, yeah. That's real life stuff.
That's to have thought enough to put that in there, to draw that in there, and to color that way. I got to believe that was the intent, because there's no other reason why that
there's
section.
that panel. Coffin was asking him, so how long did you assist with the cleanup?
Until they told us to go. Yeah, this is.
It's powerful.
Just by looking at, without having read the story, just by looking at the art, I'm thinking that maybe he does. You have to read the foreword, but apparently he does have an insight about exactly what it means to have been personally affected by the event.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
I want the whole thing.
I'm going to enjoy limited 200 copies.
And it's signed.
Nice. Oh, nice. You might want to slab this one just because.
I'll probably put it in a hard plastic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to make like a CGC slab, but just maybe just like put in the same thing you did with Stanley thing, just because. After I read it. All right, cool. I think we're going to wrap this one up. This is long, problematic, but a huge amount of really, really, really good stuff that got talked about in this episode.
Yes.
Facebook.com/thecomicsshop1, at TCS Podcast 1 on the Twitter. The Comic Shop 1, or just search for The Comic Shop on Instagram, and you should be able to find us. The Instagram is moving a little bit faster than Twitter is. Like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff that everybody that you watch on YouTube tells you to do. Please do it for us too. Feedback.
Absolutely.
Everything that we do is going to be posted on the Facebook page, so that the best link to find, for instance, this video is going to be on the Facebook page. Give us feedback in any one of those socials. The Facebook page usually is the one that grabs our attention the quickest. Yeah. I'm monitoring the Instagram and the Twitter. But either way, you want to talk about this, you want to talk about something we got right, something we got wrong, something you'd like us to talk about.
Absolutely.
We are always open to suggestions. It worked out for the Valiant stuff.
Yes.
And I know I'm a broken record when I say this, but it's true. And old books, new books, main house books, indie books, doesn't matter. Give us a hit and let us know what you think about what we're doing, and let us know what you think about what you would like us to talk about. We are now going to move on to record the
actual podcast.
Issue 97
getting close.
of the Comic Shop. So we're creeping up on issue 100. So we are going to say goodnight and move over to that. And that'll be dropping here tomorrow. This will be dropping later this week. For the 1st of October 2017. That is Scott.
Yes, I am.
I'm Eric.
And this is
the Comic Shop reading room and stuff. Take care.
Be well, people.
Sorry again for all the trouble.
Out of my hands.
That's out of